The obvious choice running back is brought to you by Hotels.com. With Hotels.com's Simple Rewards program, get one free night for every 10 you stay. Our Hotels.com obvious choice running back for Week 17, Tyler, is?
I'm going to ride the guy who's been the best fantasy running back all season long. Why expect David Johnson to slow down in Week 17? He's taken on the LA Rams, a team and a defense that we know is susceptible, even though they have talent on that side of the ball. And David Johnson is very expensive, almost $10,000 on DraftKings at $9,800. He's $9,300 on FanDuel. It doesn't matter, though. He just went to Seattle and scored 3 touchdowns against the Seahawks on the road. This guy is as matchup-proof as they come. There is no defense that's going to slow him down. Even though the Cardinals aren't playing for anything, I know Bruce Arians wants to whoop the Rams' ass in this game because L.A. got a win earlier this season against the Cardinals, and Jeff Fisher, before he got fired, was kind of gloating about it because this was part of the Rams' 3-1 start to the season, and Jeff Fisher and Bruce Arians have not liked each other very much since they've been coaching together in the NFC West. I think Arians, even though Fisher's no longer the head coach of the Rams, wants to stick it to the horns and really embarrass them. Again, they're not playing for anything, but David Johnson is just that damn good. I expect him to get his full complement of reps, and if that's the case, he's going to score 1 or 2 touchdowns. We know he's going to give you 100 yards from scrimmage because he's done that in literally every single game this season. He's expensive. Aaron Rodgers was expensive, but in Week 17, I want to know my money will be invested in players who are going to play the full game. I expect that for David Johnson, and I expect a big number like we've got all year long.
You mentioned Aaron Rodgers was your MVP of the league. Where does David Johnson sit in your MVP? Where do you expect him to finish in the NFL MVP race?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get the merit that he deserves in the NFL MVP race, because the Arizona Cardinals, kind of surprisingly, aren't contending for a playoff position. We thought this team might go to the NFC Championship game or even to the Super Bowl with the talent they brought back from a team that won a lot of games in the NFC West a year ago. But it just hasn't worked out. Don't blame David Johnson, though. David Johnson has put together one of the finest fantasy seasons we've seen in the past decade from any skill position player or flex position player. He has been so damn good, again, with that great floor, 100 yards from scrimmage in each and every game, and he has 20 touchdowns this season, combined his receiving and his rushing. So he's just someone who has been week in and week out a fantasy killer for your team. And I imagine most fantasy players that had David Johnson on their team made the playoffs, and a lot of them probably won the championship because of the effort he gave this last week.
I think so. David Johnson, brought to you by Hotels.com. So simple, it's the obvious choice.